That there's a day of everyone dressing up and going out on parades and kids getting hit in faces by sweets and drunk people everywhere
you're more
vomiting.
German than the Germans. You don't want people to have fun.
No, I do. I would love people to have fun. I just want them to do it at home and not dressed up. It's the Germany Experience, the podcast about life in Germany as seen through the eyes of outsiders. And today is a special episode, we could say. It's a special episode about Fasching in Germany. And with me, I have a real German.
Yeah, you do. And the way you already say that word sounds angry, Sean.
Fasching?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me angry.
I know.
Fasching makes me really angry. So you are Nina.
I am.
And you are German. Half German, yeah. So tell me about your background.
So my dad's an American, fell in love with a German girl and stayed here, basically.
Okay. So he's been here many years.
Ooh, 30. He's been here in Germany more years than he's ever lived in the US.
Okay. And then you were born in Germany.
Born in Germany and then did high school a year there in the States on the East Coast. And then I actually went back for university.
Mm-hmm. Okay. To the States?
To the States, to Oregon.
Oregon. It's beautiful there.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And I think it's the best place of the States.
Do you still go back from time to time?
I try to do like every 2 years.
Okay.
But now I have to split up my time between friends in Oregon and family and on the East Coast.
Yeah, so now, so you're, I think you're more than half German. So you might be 50% German from birth,
blood,
right?
no.
But you're a pretty German.
I'm pretty German. Yeah, you could say
German.
that.
Okay, so next week is Fasching. Rosenmontag. But I guess we're in the middle of Fasching now.
Yeah, it started a couple months ago.
Yeah, I don't know, Nina. It's just such a complex thing. Like, how long does it? It seems to last for months and months.
It's called fifth season of the year, so I mean.
Yeah, but it's like the whole year.
Well, for some people, this is what they've been waiting for.
Okay, so let's take a step back. Let's talk about what Fasching is, because when I came here, I'd never heard of Fasching. I had no idea, other than I heard about the Mardi Gras and
Brazil samba.
Exactly, the Brazilian carnival and things like that. So I knew about that. I didn't realize that Europe has a big carnival thing that goes on. So I got here and I was like, wow, this is a big deal. But I don't understand any of it. So,
have you been to Venice?
I've been to Venice, yes.
Yeah, but like the carnival?
No.
Oh, Sean.
There's a carnival in Venice?
It's super famous. They're the ones with the cool mask and they're like...
I got the masks from Venice.
They're like wearing those flowy wizard robes.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I didn't realize that was carnival as well.
That's Venice Carnival, yeah.
Okay. So, and that's the same time?
Same time.
Okay. So, what is carnival exactly? I've got some things that I'll read to you, but I just want to ask what is carnival?
Well, I guess the origin is Christian. Like,
yeah,
it's the time you go crazy before you have to go on a hardcore diet or something.
Yeah, it's the last party that you have before Ash Wednesday or something like that.
Yeah, it's the last party you have. Ash Wednesday is the final day of Carnival, Fasching.
Okay, and then the serious stuff starts. That's
then
where
the
you
40 days
give up
of fasting,
alcohol, fast,
sweets, internet.
Okay, so Carnival is just before things get serious for religious people. So it's got religious roots, right?
It, like most things in Europe, it's got religious roots. And then they started on the 11th of November at 11:11 with 11 seconds.
This is what confused me. Like, there's already shit going on in November for Fasching. Is that a party? The November 11?
Not here. Tradition. Let's talk about the traditional. So in Germany, there's two types of carnival. There is Carnival, which is celebrated further to the north, like Cologne, Düsseldorf, this area, Mainz.
Yeah.
And
those are kind of like the main centers of the carnival?
Of carnival. Like, I think the biggest one are Köln and Mainz. Yeah. And you probably heard about it. So there's two distinct shouts, which is Kölle Alav, and then I think in Mainz it's Hellau. There's a big split between those cities, and depending on which you identify with, you use Alav or Hellau. And then down here in the south, we call it Fasching.
Yeah.
And traditionally, it used to be a little bit different. So in Cologne and Mainz, they do this whole like street carnival thing where they run through the streets in their costumes and throw like sweets to the kids. And then down here, like back in my mom's time, they were more into these carnival balls. So you would meet up in the evening dressed in your like carnival costume and go to a ball and get equally drunk but slightly different.
I think it's the whole point of any carnival.
Of any party,
yeah,
right?
Of any party, yeah.
Yeah, and so traditionally here, I think the 11th of November wasn't so important other than that it got things kicked off. But like up there in Cologne and Mainz, it's like a national holiday.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
They go crazy. Like, I mean, they wait for hours in the friggin' cold.
Yeah, and it is cold this time of year. That's the thing that I've learned.
That's why you need to drink a lot.
Got it. Warm yourself up from the inside, or just become so numb that you don't notice that it's cold anymore.
Yeah, I think that works too.
Yeah. So I'll just read this.
Read to me what's going on up there because I'm not from there. So
I've got
a
thing from people.ucls.uchicago.edu. So clearly, I don't know.
The Americans
University
are
of Chicago.
explaining German
the
Carnival.
Americans are explaining. This is like, I guess like it's mansplaining, but America-splaining.
Which is a thing, I guess.
US-splaining. Fasching, also known as Carnival, is a time of festivity and merrymaking, Nina.
Oh.
A time to break the rules, poke fun at those who make them, and then to make your own new rules. So, in Germany, the tradition can be traced to medieval times, where many countries existed under harsh rules. Kings, princes, and even smaller potentates maintained their own courts, and in doing so, they flaunted before each other their own pomp and splendor. I like this right up, at the expense of the population. So then during the carnival time, the common people took a chance at living it up and talking back to their rulers, and they would make a mock government of 11 people, as well as other officials, and then a prince and princess were selected to rule the country during the Fasching season. Political authorities, high-placed persons, and sovereigns were the target of ridicule and featured in humorous and satirical speeches. To avoid persecution and punishment, these antics were played out from behind masks and costumes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that's still going on today.
Yeah. So because of Cologne, when they do the whole thing on the 11th of November, they have like caricatures of famous politicians that they carry on wagons through the street and stuff like that.
Okay.
So they still mock people.
Okay, so that starts on the 11th of November.
Yep.
That starts the season, the Fasching season. What happens then, like in November, December? Are there things that happen?
If you're like super, super, super into it, I mean, I enjoy Carnival, but I'm talking about the main season, which is next week.
Yeah,
like,
well, I'll get to your Carnival love and experience.
But if you're super, super into it, actually, the whole year is preparation for this time because you have to get this wagon that you're going to show on these street carnivals ready. And it's huge. And like, it's actually, because we're talking about Germany, you have to get the TÜV to approve it. So you have to get it ready in time.
Oh, no. So you're telling me those things that you see in the parade?
They're
in the
TÜV
fashion parade.
Otherwise, you're not allowed to like drive them.
Oh, I love Germany. It's the best.
Did you really think it wasn't that way?
I just thought that there are things that you put on a float. But I suppose it does make sense because it does make sense because you have to get those things to the parade, right?
Yeah.
So then you have to ride on the roads. Okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. They would have to be TÜV approved.
They have
just to be clear, TÜV is kind of the roadworthy association in Germany. They make sure that all the cars are roadworthy. Okay, so you start planning. You start building your float.
You have to select the theme. So if you're not in Cologne and not doing like one of the mock ones, you like usually have a theme like I don't know medieval times, and you have to build a castle, or you go for I don't know Antarctic, and you like buy penguin costumes and build your fake igloo. Stuff like that. So a lot of my friends back home are actually into this. So this is how I know. Every weekend you meet up and drink and get your float ready.
Okay. And have you built a float before?
I helped, but I was never a member of one of the clubs, the vereins, because they actually do clubs for this, like official vereins.
Yeah, of course they do.
Of course, it's Germany.
Of course they do.
And then when the 11th starts, you actually start slowly going to different towns with your float because I mean you put so much work into it, you want to show it off. Yeah. But then now in February whenever usually it's end of February, beginning of March when you have this carnival time, Fasching, Rosenmontag, then things get really, really crazy, and basically the people in those vereins take the whole week off or the 2 weeks off.
Right. That's a big thing.
And then every day you're at a different street carnival showing off your float, getting drunk, and you're home by, I don't know, 6 o'clock, take a nap, take a shower, and you go to one of the balls.
Okay. So if you take it seriously, there's a lot going on for you.
There is a lot going on.
Okay. So 11th of November is the kickoff. Then the next
Slowly,
flurry of activity is middle of February.
February, yeah.
Okay, so we're now next
Right,
week.
yeah.
Next week is Rosenmontag.
But Rosenmontag is like the biggest thing, but this week is also important, at least here, because you got Weiberfasching, you got
Weiberfasching. So what is Weiberfasching? So that's basically female
carnival.
Female carnival, is that
And
right?
it's about reversing power because we live in a patriarchy, Sean.
Okay.
And
Power back to the woman for one day.
feminism, yeah.
That's empowerment. You get it for one day and then we take it back.
And so the biggest thing is anyone you see with a tie, you get to cut off the tie without asking.
Yes.
And actually,
I've seen that in the trains.
yeah, and actually, so I went to an all-girls school, Catholic all-girls school.
Okay.
And
where you had to wear ties.
our principal, who was a guy, put actually on like 12 different ties so that everyone could like cut a piece of his tie. It was like your trophy for the day. And this is when when women take back the power for a day.
Yeah.
So Women's Carnival, Weiberfasching is a Thursday. Then Friday, it's Ashy Friday, and you've probably seen your kids come back from kindergarten with the black.
The black on their faces.
So you either get like black watercolors or you take a wine cork and you scorch it and try to smear the ash on people's faces.
Right.
And then weekends there, and you have like Fasching Samstag, Fasching Sonntag, Rosenmontag.
Yeah. So that weekend is the Sunday is usually
That's
when
the
they have
highlight,
the big
floats,
big floats, because that's when the kids all go down and they get basically
candy.
They get thrown with candy. So the way that it happens that I've seen is that there's a massive parade and it's like usually hundreds of floats. It takes forever for them to go by. And then these floats usually have sweets and something, and they're
sweets,
throwing them off the side of the floats, and the kids are going crazy and getting hit in the eye and the face. So
Funny
I've had
that you
several things with
mentioned
kids
this.
getting hit in the face.
Because at work, actually, we were talking about this yesterday, and I tried to search YouTube for a video of a kid getting hit in the face. There is none. There is none. I think I found...
Why would you do a search for that, though?
Why not?
Okay, that's fair.
You know, there's this whole fail army thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should have been.
So I was 100% convinced there would be a video of kids like getting
slow motion
smacked in the face. Yeah. No, nothing. I think,
okay, so that's your challenge, folks. I think let's do a challenge this year. We have to get footage. Now, I'm not saying you go on Fasching Sunday. Don't do it. Let's be responsible, Nina. I'm not saying go and throw sweets and candy in a kid's face, but I'm just saying if you see it, film
take
it.
a video.
Yeah,
and send it to Sean.
Send it to me. And then I'll go put it up somewhere. Now, don't throw it in the face, but
do it.
If it's going to happen, just
don't. No, but I was sure there would be, because that has to happen
everything's
every
on the
time.
internet.
Yeah, there's no.
It does happen every time. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to kids every year.
Apparently, no one takes videos, which is weird.
That is weird because everyone's got phones. There's no excuse, people. We need video footage of kids getting hit in the face with candy.
Candy,
please. So that's going to happen on sort of the Sunday.
Yeah,
the Sunday there's a massive thing, and also a massive party.
And
this is here's where it gets strange for me, because you've got on this Sunday, you've got little kids, dressed up, cute, in all different kinds of very very cute, adorable. You got parents with the kids, and then you've got these absolutely drunk people. And it amazes me, it's like there's two different parties going on here at the same time.
It's Germany. Look at any kind of festival we have.
Yeah, that's true.
Oktoberfest.
Yeah. That's actually a very good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I know that for a lot of foreigners, especially from the US, it's a surprising thing that because first of all, drinking in public is not something that
this is something I always forget when I go to the US and I just take my beer on the street and everyone looks at me. I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah, in South Africa too, we always can spot the Germans because they're the ones walking around with the wine bottle in their hand.
About it.
Like, just put it. It's illegal here, guys. It's not. It's just second nature. But I still feel funny about drinking in public, even after so long of being in Germany. When I drink in public, I'm walking around with the beer. I feel so like this is weird. I can't do it. You
bad boy.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I can't do it. I can't. It's very strange. Okay, so then
parents and drunk kids in costumes,
and that's the Sunday. That's a big party. There's also I've been to parties on a Saturday night before that Sunday. As well.
Yeah, but it's usually at night, and then Sunday is like a whole day event.
Yeah.
And then Rosenmontag is like the most important day, and that's usually when the biggest parties and balls happen.
Okay, Rosenmontag.
Yeah, and then Faschingsdienstag, you're hungover, but you still go to the last party, whatever.
Right.
And then it's Ash Wednesday and the fun is over and you don't get to eat meat for a whole day.
Yeah. Oh, really? No meat for a whole day?
Ash Wednesday is no meat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then that's the end of a party.
Yeah, and my mom still gets... So I've been living on my own for 8 years now. And when my mom figures out that I eat meat on that day, she still gets mad and upset.
But she knows. She knows.
She usually finds... You know, mom...
Because you just
they
said
have
it
an
on
antenna for stuff you're not supposed to do.
But you've also just said it on a podcast, so sorry, Nina's mom.
She won't listen to it.
Won't she? Why wouldn't she listen to it?
Maybe I have to send her the link.
Yeah. Well, now she can't listen to it.
She can't. It's okay.
Hi, Nina's mom. So here's something else that was written in the same article from the University of Chicago, I guess. The first written record of the Köln Carnival is from the year 1341. Köln has the Dreigeisten, which is the what?
Dreigestirn.
That's what I said. No.
No.
I'm kidding. No. Dreigestirn. My German's great, thank you very much. Dreigestirn, 3 stars. So they have the Carnival Prince, which is seine Tollität.
Yeah, like his craziness.
His craziness. The Bauer, who is the peasant or the farmer, I guess.
Yeah.
And the Jungfrau, who's the damsel.
The maiden in distress.
And then in Cologne, they actually have people who are selected to play these roles.
Yeah.
And then they storm somewhere or other, something or other. I don't know what it goes
the
on.
city hall and stuff.
The Rathaus.
They take over the town.
It's so strange.
It is a bit strange, I guess, if you think about it. But it's fun.
Is it though, Nina? Because I'm gonna. This is what
I'm really excited about.
Because
Sean, what's your problem?
I am an absolute Faschingsmuffel, as the Germans say. I hate Fasching with everything that it has in me, and I think so. There's multiple problems here for me. The first one is I hate dressing up. I hate it when there's a party and people say I have to dress up. I hate it. I just hate it. Are you looking at me like...
I'm like, what's so bad about it?
I don't know. It's just such a mission to find something and then dress up as something. And I hate it. I hate it. And then, so part of the problem was when I was working in Würzburg, or living in Würzburg, I was working in Frankfurt. And the ICE train that I used to take from Würzburg to Frankfurt...
was full of drunk people?
Yeah, because they're going to... So that same ICE train would go to Köln. And this was during the Fasching week... I would be in the train at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. And my usual thing was to sleep for that hour that it took to get to Frankfurt. Just to sleep.
You couldn't
catch up and sleep. No, because these idiots were all on the train dressed up, and they're already drinking Sekt or I don't even know what beer, and they're not just drinking it at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're already
I'll get to
hammered,
that in a second.
Already hammered at 7 o'clock in the morning on my train to work. I'm just trying to get to Frankfurt to go to work, and it was loud and rowdy every single day, and it pissed me off because first of all, I couldn't be part of that party because I'm going to work.
You could have taken off.
Yeah, but why am I going to take off for Fasching? I hate Fasching.
You didn't hate it back then.
No, I did. I think I hated it from the moment that I knew about it. Because this is also strange to me. That there's a day of everyone dressing up and going out on parades and kids getting hit in faces by sweets and drunk people everywhere
you're more
vomiting.
German than the Germans. You don't want people to have fun.
No, I do. I would love people to have fun. I just want them to do it at home and not dressed up. Could we just do that?
No.
Could we do that privately, please? Because I'm constantly worried for my kids, first of all, on this Sunday that people are going to vomit on them.
Give your kids like 10 more years and they'll be doing the vomiting.
No, that's not going to happen to my kids. Not my kids.
Oh,
no, not my kids. You're wrong, Nina. You're dead wrong. That's where you're wrong.
Oh, no.
Okay, so what is your affinity?
I love it.
Fasching. So why?
First of all, my birthday usually is around Fasching.
Okay.
How can you not love everyone having a party for you?
So your birthday is tomorrow.
Yeah.
After this episode comes out. The 18th of February. But I can't wish you happy birthday. Because
no, we don't do this in Germany.
We don't wish people happy birthday.
We don't want bad luck.
No, of course you don't want bad luck. Okay, so you usually associate these festivities
with my birthday,
with your birthday because it's happening at the same time.
Yeah, and usually the kids get like a week of Fasching's vacation in Bavaria.
Ah, so you're on vacation as a kid.
I was on vacation. It was vacation for my birthday. Yeah. People are celebrating my birthday.
And they're celebrating Fasching.
Now that I'm old enough to go out and drink, I always got into the parties for free. It was never a problem if the parties were overcrowded because hey, it's my birthday today.
Yeah.
And then the whole costume part, like I never had a store-bought costume. My mom used to make all my costumes.
Really?
So if I would say, I want to be a snow princess this year, I got a snow princess dress.
So what was your favorite memory of a costume from your childhood?
I think from my childhood, it was in Germany, we have this Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, Die Eiskönigin.
Yeah, which is what Frozen is based on, I think.
No, it's cooler.
Oh, this is cooler than Frozen?
It is.
How dare you? Don't
read it to your children because it's very cool.
Yeah, that's the problem with Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales. Is like I have to censor so much from them.
The boy gets an ice shard into his eye, and his heart turns to ice.
Thank you, Germany, for these wonderful tales for our children.
Yeah, Danish.
Oh, was he Danish?
Yeah, Hans Christian Andersen was Danish.
Oh, you had the Brothers Grimm.
We had the Brothers Grimm.
They were German.
Yeah, they were German and stole from all countries. Plagiarism.
Anyway.
Well, but doesn't matter. I had this snow princess dress which like glittered and it had like fake fur and it was amazing.
Do you have pictures of that still?
Probably somewhere in my parents' house.
If you can, send me some for the show notes.
Yeah.
If you don't have to, but it's up to you.
No, I'm pretty sure we still have.
What else were you can you remember?
My mom used to make a very popular one is the spider or the witch. So I had these. The one I'm using now most time is a Tinkerbell costume my mom made. I have a Roaring Twenties dress that I'm using now. I had a Cleopatra dress.
Wow, yeah, the whole gamut of things.
And you have to think about it. My mom always had to make two because, of course, you couldn't have one kid dressed in a homemade dress and the other one in a store-bought dress.
No. Yeah, so you had to make it. So when did she start making your outfits?
Usually I had the idea that I want this dress like 2 weeks before.
Of course.
How else would it be?
Yeah. Okay, so then she would have to...
Night shifts. Thank you, Mom. She's really into it, I guess. Yeah. And I guess it's also like you get a little bit of pride out of it if your kids run around in homemade... And it's cool because you don't have the same thing.
Listen, I get pride out of it when I buy outfits for my kids. So I can only imagine if I made the outfits myself, what kind of pride I would feel.
So she was really, really into it. And it was like this whole part, like my mom made a costume for me. It was exactly the one I wanted.
That's cool.
It was my birthday. I got vacation. It was parties. It was always good.
Yeah. Our kids get what they get. Yeah. And I think my youngest daughter is going to get hand-me-downs from the other kids. So, sorry, kids. I don't know if you want something
terrible
else.
Terrible father.
I'd say average. Let's not say terrible. Let's say average. Okay, so you grew up basically with it associated with good memories and happy thoughts.
And I mean, so I'm from a small town and I'm member of the German Red Cross there. Mm-hmm. And they always organize the kids Faschingsball on.
And that's the other thing, Kinderfasching.
Kinderfasching, yeah. So they always organize that, and this was always a huge part. And I used to do this every year. Yeah. You used to have to plan games and to write music, and you had to have. This is a thing you probably also hate, knowing you. You have to learn the dances.
Why?
Okay, this is the one thing I admit. I hate Fasching's music. Yeah. I hate the music.
It's all of it, Nina.
The music is terrible, but it's fun. Everyone's having a good time, Sean.
Yes, that's true. That's true, and I don't begrudge them having a good time. I just think that there are other ways to have a good time. But yes, the dancing does piss me off. And you know what else pisses me off about this Fasching time? And I think this is maybe my biggest problem with Fasching that drives me crazy. When you turn on the TV during Fasching season.
There's nothing else on.
There's just this Fasching shit. And it's comedy shows, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's satirical. Maybe it's because I don't understand German.
No, German humor is terrible. I've been told this quite some...
It's terrible. And it's stand-up comedy. And I'm using that like air quotes when I say stand-up comedy. And it's just a very... specific brand of comedy where it's very dramatic or theatrical,
and it's what we call in German. It's usually very flach.
It's very flach. It is very, very flach, and flach means flat, like flat jokes, really lame,
very lame jokes.
And that drives me crazy when I see that on the TV, and that's all part of it. Like that I just kind of put all of it together. I'm like, oh, I hate this time of year. But I'm much better now that I'm not in the trains with these people anymore. So I think that's okay. So, have you been to any of the big Fasching celebrations?
I've been to the one in Cologne a couple of times.
But
I think my favorite one was exactly 3 years ago.
Okay.
So we went with a couple of people from my master's. So it was mixed, like German and international students. And my ex-boyfriend at that time, or my boyfriend at that time, he was from Cologne. So I crashed at his place. They crashed at another friend's place. And we met up and... Like you say, so my boyfriend lived a little bit outside of Cologne. And so to meet them, in time for the fun to start, which is usually like around 11 o'clock.
In the morning, folks.
Yeah, in the morning. And
Just to be clear.
And you don't want to get there at 11. You want to be there like at 9:30.
Sure.
So yeah, to get a good spot.
Yeah.
Right in front of a stage or something. And I had to take the train at 8:20, I think. And I was on my own. So what are you going to do on a train for 45 minutes on your own? Well, I drank 6 beers. Because we're not talking about Bavarian beers. We're talking about like light beers in a 33 milliliter. Yeah.
But still, that's pretty good.
So I got
pretty
there
solid
and
drinking.
I was in a very, very good mood.
Yeah, you're already party mode. Party
And
Nina.
because the whole thing is outside, of course, I was like, I'm not going to put any like dress on. And my sister has this hedgehog costume,
Okay.
which is like, basically it's a onesie.
Okay.
So it was like very cozy. I was like, at least I'm not freezing.
Yeah.
And that was a good thing. I wasn't cold. And
But I'm just going to stop you there. That is one thing that I've also noticed on Fasching. It's usually freezing cold because it's sort of the end of February. And February can be really cold in Germany. It's usually freezing cold. And you've got sometimes these people with maybe like midriffs showing or stomachs showing or legs showing.
What Americans would wear as slutty costumes at Halloween.
Yeah, a slutty show. So you got a lot of these people running around. The guys are sometimes in shorts and funny outfits and stuff like that. And it is freezing.
That's why you drink.
Yeah.
You're smart like me and you just put on a warm, cozy one.
Yeah, that's what you need to do, I think, is get a really cozy costume.
Yeah. And so I did
because there's nothing worse than putting your jacket over your costume.
No, you don't want to ruin the costume.
No, that's lame.
And so I did that. And so by the time I got to Cologne, I was in a good mood. Of course, my friends been doing the same thing. Like they didn't meet up with me sober.
Yeah.
And we get to the street. Even I, as a German, have problems pronouncing the street name. So forgive me, people from Cologne. It's Zülpicher Straße or something.
Lord. Good
Lord. It's horrible. I can, and because in Cologne they don't say, they say ch.
Yeah.
So it sounds like Zülpicher Straße. Don't know. Don't ask me. So we get there, and then good people of Cologne. Usually in Bavaria, if you go somewhere where you cannot bring glass bottles or anything because of danger of throwing it at people, you just have to drink it. No, they gave us plastic cups. The police handed out plastic cups to fill in your beer. Very nice of them.
Yeah.
And so we get there, we drink some more beers, we go buy beers. All the bars in the street are like open. You have to pay €1 for bathroom. And I mean, if you've been drinking since 8 o'clock, you
need to go to the bathroom.
You spend quite some money on bathrooms.
You're spending like at least, I would imagine at least €20 a day on a bathroom.
Yeah, and you're having a good time. There's music
played,
everywhere. Yeah, you go from bar to bar. You meet new. This is a huge thing in Cologne. As a Bavarian, I'm not used to this, but people just kiss you in Carnival. They think it's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard about this.
I did. I also heard that girls, like women, can also just kiss.
It's
guys.
Weird. It's
very weird.
It's weird. I have to admit this was weird because as a Bavarian, I very, very much respect my personal space.
Yeah.
People from Cologne don't do this, so this was very weird. I have some interest. I can also give you pictures from that day.
Please.
There's some interesting...
Show notes, people. I'll put them in the show notes. Whatever you give.
Some interesting photos from this. And I've been going on this like from 8 o'clock on. And the week before, I applied at the company we're working at.
Okay.
And they told me, don't worry, you won't hear from us till March. I was like, great.
Right. Okay.
I can enjoy Fasching.
Yeah.
And around 3 p.m., my phone rings and I see an unknown number from Nuremberg.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
no, can't be.
No, like
not now.
No. This can only be one thing.
And you have to answer it because you don't want to miss the call.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the street, 3 p.m., full of people who've been drinking for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. It's loud. There's music. I am very drunk myself. I'm like, and I'm telling my, you know what your friends do when you're drunk and you answer a very important phone call?
Yeah, they make it as hard as possible, of course.
So I'm like, no, shh. You like, really, this could be my job. Yeah. And they were like, you're kidding, right? I'm like, no, I'm very, very serious about this. And so I answered the phone trying to sound as sober as possible. And of course, it was the company we work for.
Yeah.
And, we would like to offer you the job you applied for. And of course, I was happy. And I was actually planning to stay till Ash Wednesday in Cologne. And they're like, can you start Monday? And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Wow, that's amazing.
And actually, so it's been 3 years now. And I think last year I asked my now ex-boss, because I switched departments, did you realize I was like...
Hammered? Like inebriated?
Smashed. Really? It's like I was in the middle of Carnival in Cologne. Oh, really?
They had no idea.
It's like,
well played, Nina.
Well, I'm like,
you're a veteran
I got skills.
I can handle my liquor.
But my favorite part of the story comes up. So at around 4 or 5, you're done. You're just tired. You just want to go home.
4 or 5 in the morning, not afternoon. Because I'd be done by 5 o'clock in the afternoon. No, I'm kidding.
And so we go get a Döner. And we share it. And then each one goes their way. I get on the train back to my ex-boyfriend's house. And the whole time I'm like, it smells like Döner in here. And I'm still drunk, of course, and there's other people on the train with me, and I start talking to them because, I mean, I got 45 minutes for the train ride back, blah, blah, blah. Suddenly the train stops. It's not going anywhere anymore. I'm like, damn, I'm in the middle of nowhere. It's like early in the morning. Oh, God, I call my ex-boyfriend. I'm like, you got to pick me up from this train station, which is about 30 minutes away from your place because the train's not going anywhere anymore. Oh, I'm going to be there, blah, blah, blah. Wait for me. And I'm sitting in the car with my ex-boyfriend. I'm like, do you smell this? It smells like Döner. It's like, oh, you're still drunk. I already like made a soup for you. When you get home, you get some toast and get some soup to soak up this alcohol. I'm like, no, I'm
really smelling Döner. They're like,
really
are you smelling this?
Döner? And he's like, no. We get home and he feeds me and I start feeling better. And I cannot explain why, but I reach into the inside of the onesie and I kid you not, Sean, I pull out like this huge chunk of Döner that apparently fell into the onesie.
That's amazing. Did you eat it?
Yeah.
That's a good story.
My ex-boyfriend.
I told you it was smelling like Döner. I told you.
I mean, it was already, and because it was between my body and the onesie, it was still warm. So I was like, oh, this was good.
That is one of my favorite, in fact, my favorite Fasching story that I've ever heard. Kind of brings a little more joy to Fasching.
I'm happy I could bring you some Fasching joy.
Yes. Nina, this has been great talking about Fasching and shedding a little light onto what it is about and why people should like it. I guess a lot of people do like it. I have been to fun Fasching parties before, I must admit. I had a very lame costume on. Like I would just put on the vampire cloak.
Sean.
Yeah, no, it's like
better.
I'm a zero effort guy with dressing up. Zero effort. But I have had a few fun Faschings parties. And I do enjoy the parades for my kids because my kids enjoy it so much.
It.
The kids enjoy it so much that I'm like, okay, and then we have a beer ourselves and it's fun. But yeah, thank you for joining me and taking the time to talk about Fasching. And I hope everyone enjoys Fasching. I hope you enjoy Fasching. And by the way, if you like this podcast, just tell someone. Just tell someone. That's what I'm doing, Nina. That's my new thing. I figure I'm not going to ask people to go and rate me on Apple Podcasts. They could if they want to, but I'm not going to ask them to. I'm not going to ask them to go and, I don't know, podcasts. Share the link. Share the link, though, people. Don't be shy. But if you do none of the other stuff, all you have to do is just tell one person. If you have someone that you think would be interested in a show about Germany and about foreigners' experiences of Germany, just tell them. One person. Just tell them. That's all. All right. Thank you very much, Nina. Auf Wiederhören.